Hi chaps, we're back again ranching. I came back from a trip of Italy, which most of you probably know by now. It was an awful lot of fun, I need to say, and if you live here or you go here, you really need to go to Italy with your Ferrari. It's really fun. Um, During those kilometers, I drove up around 4,000 kilometers in total, and in the first 1,000 kilometers I heard something in the back. On every corner it became worse, and yeah, what can I say? I was a bit shocked how fast this went, actually, the rear one. You can actually hear it. You hear how loose it is. You cannot see it, but you can definitely feel it. So we need to replace these two. We have some special tools again for it. This is a ring nut tool, 44 millimeters. Yeah, again, 50 pounds. Without it, you cannot take it off. Obviously, also a new nut. 20 pounds as well. So that's 70 pounds here lying, and for the US guys, it's around 100 USD. Yeah, it's a lot of money for what you need, actually. Two bearings, one NKA bearing from Austria. It's a sealed one. This is the smaller one, and this is an SKF. We need to take off this capillary to take off the disc. There is a little bracket over here, as you can see, and you can pull it out here. Let's have a look if that's... You see how it goes. Boink. Here it goes off, and off it goes. So let me get some light as well. Okay guys, I hope you can see it right here. Okay, so to take off the capillary, there are two bolts here and here, and they're protected by these little caps here. These are just plastic. This is a Mondial 0.2 from 1987, so it might differ per year what you have. As you can see, you can just take it off. It's a little black cap, and behind it you can unbolt it. Here it goes. So you just can pull it off. Just going to leave it here. So the next thing is to remove the bracket on the mount of the capillary here. Two bolts, and I guess that's size 17. Yeah, that should be good. 17. Oops, there is something falling. As you can see, there are little spacers in it. Now that is something that I did not expect. And there's one here. So I need to watch it that we put it back as well. So if you can see behind in here, they should go in here back. So what I usually do, I'll take them off, and now I know that probably also here we have some spacers in between. So it's always a surprise when you take something off. So I did some, as you still can see the copper spray here, I did some maintenance on the brakes, but I didn't know, I didn't take off the bracket yet. It's dirty again, off a trip from Italy. Just see how much debris it has. You see, this is a and I cleaned my brakes before going to Italy. So this is 4,000 kilometers, 2,700 miles, and you get so much shit in your brakes. Alright, so we have some spaces here as well. Yep. Okay, mind where they're going. Yep, here they are. Okay, you know what I just do? So I know that I don't lose them. I just put them back here together with the bolts, so I don't lose these spaces, because try to get the right size. You see, again we have yellow paint. Ferrari is very keen on using it on bolts and nuts. Okay, so the bracket is off. Now it's time to take off the disc. So what I did, I took a smaller puller, here one, and this is the bigger one, and I put the arms of the smaller one on the bigger one, so that I can hook up these little grabbers in here. Here it goes. Right, see if you guys can see this. So my idea is to do it like this. This fits in this hole, and this one on the other side in here, and we just pull it. So let's see what happens. Check if the handbrake is off, because you don't want to be pulling while the handbrake is on it, or the emergency brake. Bloody hell. Okay, so due to the stress I put on, and using a little hammer, little hammer, it's a big hammer, it's rubber, just ticking it gently here, it comes loose. So the only thing that I need to do now is just wrench it up again. A little bit more. And here it goes. It pops off just like that. Here we have the brake shoe. That's for your emergency brake, hand brake. And the other one I already took off. And it's very easy to take these things off. You take a hex key, you just put it in. The best way to do it is actually by pulling the shoe, and mind your fingers, because you know this my glove is already stuck. Right, good. And you put the hex key in and you just turn it for 90 degrees. Up, here it goes, and off it goes. So you see the little edges here, how this being put on and put off. Now mind it though, there is a little little ring in which this one goes, so you actually see it. It just goes in here 90 degrees and it locks itself. You press it 90 degrees and you take it off. Don't lose these. I'm not sure if they're easy to get. This one looks pretty okay still, so just put it in a little box or a can, so don't lose it. Okay, so next is the handbrake. You see the cable over here, goes in here, and you have this little mechanism over here. Now it's with a hook inside on the cable, so if you take this one and wiggle it a little bit, here it goes. Here it goes. Yep. And you can just take it off. Here it is. So it's located in it just like this. Oh, just have a look. It has been scuffed over here a bit, but just remember how it's how you took it off, right? Else you don't know how to put it on again. So I'll put this in a box too. So now I assume that you can just pull the handbrake here on the back. Here it goes. Here it goes. Right. Okay, so here you have, so this just hooks up in here, you see, and then it pulls and this widens. Okay, so I'm going to put it in a box again, this, and I'll just put this here. Something about the brake pads and the coupler. I'll put a box here because I'm not going to do anything here, and I don't want to take this the lines off, else I need to take the air out again. Make sure that it's lying on something, else your line will be hanging and it will be it might break. Although it's braided, I would just put a box underneath it. Okay, so I've done a little preparation already. So we have the hub here, and this is the first time for me to take it off. I've taken off the upper bolt and the nut, so this one is loose. the lower bolt and nut is also loose. Now we only have the shock to do, so ideally to get to the shock you can just move this one up, you see. So now it can just freely move and you can take out this bolt, and then the shock breaker is loose as well. So we're nearly there to take off the hub and then get to the bearings. The other thing that I just wanted to show you, because that's quite interesting, so put the camera in a steady position, and now I'm just to have a look how loose this is, and you'll be amazed how loose this is, you see. In the Netherlands, for MOT, it will not pass, so we definitely need to replace the bearings. We have a bit of a difficulty in getting the bolts of the axe loose. It's hex, obviously, where you put in your hex in here, clean it a bit with a screwdriver and then flush it with some brake cleaner so that all the debris is out, and then you can easily just put it in. I locked it, so I put it in its reverse, and what I also did on this side, I just put it here, took a wrench and I just put it on here so that it's against the hub. It cannot go anywhere here. So now I can at least I can take some force now. Obviously this is just for this one. As you can see, the next one is already gone here, so I don't have I cannot lock it for the other one. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. As you can see, the axle is now loose. The only thing that is attached to the hub is this lower bolt here, that is on the wishbone, and this one that is for the shock, and that's it. Take away the rings. Here you go. 2 rings. So we firstly begin with the shock here to remove the bolts. Okay, so that's one. Let's see if we can. Here it goes already. A little bit of screwdriver here, and you can just wiggle it out. You don't have to put much force. There it goes. There it goes. And we have a half loose hub. So the other one, this bolt here, I'll show you if you guys can see it. Let's take it off. And we can wiggle this one out too. Right, here it is. Just put these things back, these long bolts, so you don't lose them. It's quite difficult to lose them, but you can lose your rings or nuts, of course. Here it is. 2 pieces. Okay, so here we have one hub for Ferrari Mondial, and if you look here closely, we can see the special nut that Ferrari is using to fasten your bearings into the hub. So we're going to use our special tool just to take it off, first clean it, and let's see what we have. I put it in the workbench. Obviously you see my dad is busy with one of his engines again, so I have little space at the moment. I only have the workbench to my availability, but I don't need more at the moment. So we have here the special R&T nut tool, 44 millimeters, and as you can see, the nut is here. I put the securement off already, and you just bash it off, and it's a perfect fit, this nut tool. So what I did here, I just put one bolt in, one of the wheel bolts, so that if I put force on it, that it's a bit blocked. So let's have a look if we can bolt it off. We took off this one. It's not secured at all, so you can just pull it off like this. And what we're now busy with the following: we took off this cap. It's not really necessary to take it off to take off the pin here. So we have a big puller here, as you can see, and we can just pull the hub off, and the bearings stay behind. As you can see, the lower bearing here is already coming off, as you can see. We took off the hub, and this one is already loose, and just look at this debris, what's in it. I'm not sure if you can see it, and it smells like a bit like sewer water, or it has a particular smell. It's definitely old. I think it's even the first bearings that were placed by Ferrari. It's all SKF what's in it, this one and the one on here. So we will be replacing this one, the smaller one. We have a big spacer over here. As you can see, there is a lot of debris in it, rust, and this is the bearing that we took off. Now this one is not easy to take off. You need to have a puller similar to this one, else you will be lost. You simply need to go to someone who can do it, a car shop or wherever you can go to take it off. I'll clean this up, and we'll be back when we put it together. So the new bearing is on. Yeah, I'm happy. It's It's a great fit, just fit it right on. When you put it on, always make use of the inner ring here. Don't we cleaned a lot up, and so everything is clean, and as you can see, I already put the bearing on. This is the new one, SKF. I pressed it on, similar way that we pulled it off, and I'm quite satisfied. So there's no more room or movement in this bearing, and it runs heavy. I don't hear it, so I'm quite satisfied. So this is the spacer, needs to go up, and then the whole lot goes on again, but I first need to take out the bearing that is still located in the hub. I'll be doing that tomorrow. I'll leave it for now. So cheerio guys, have a nice evening, and I hope this was a bit useful again.